I have no animation, so I'm going to turn off animation. You can embed media to include the texture. Go away, Google Drive. But I will actually not, in this case, embed media, so I can individually upload the textures, so you'll see the process of individually uploading the textures. Because if I ever want to change the textures and re-upload them, they're going to have to be done individually anyway. So, turn off embed media, okay. That should just export a crappy house model. And click upload. And I'm going to choose my file, should be there. 3ds Max, crappy house setup. Continue. Now while it's transferring, oh, that was real quick. You can also type stuff here. That's your model name. You can make it private so no one else can see it. And with an optional password. So this is stuff like, in the case of art tests, if you ever go for an art test and you're under an NDA or something, so they ask you to model something that you're not supposed to post online, you can do it this way. So you make it private, but you put a password so whoever is giving you the art test can look at it then. Say what? You gotta pay for a password? Oh, I already have a pro account. Okay. Sorry. I didn't know that. Pay for a pro account. I have no idea how much a pro account costs. Does anyone know? Allowing texture inspection, again, always good if you're trying to use the model for a portfolio, because art directors will want to look at it and see like how you've unwrapped it and whether you've done it correctly. But if you are shy and you did it terribly, you can turn that off. And you can also allow download and whether it's like mature or whatever. I will say one thing that most people don't do and don't bother: having a description, putting it in the category, and then putting tags, hashtags, and all that stuff. They do severely increase how many people look at your model. And the more people look at your model, the more impressive it looks, because it's got like little seen by 20,000 people or whatever. I have like a few hundred downloads on stupid rock that I've made. It's so dumb. But anyway, continue. This guy, oh shit, did I make it private? Did I turn it off? I can't remember. It's going to take a little while. I think I turned off private. Doesn't matter, you'll see it on screen anyway. Meanwhile, I'm going to go look for my texture. Pretty sure it's in the same file folder. DC, 3ds Max, crappy house. Yeah, there it is, PNG. Cool. But I do not have a normal map for my house as of yet. Do you guys remember Unity is able to grayscale it and create a normal map out of grayscale? As far as I know, at the moment, Sketchfab is not able to do that. There's a couple of ways around that, and there's a few ways around that. There is a online program that will do it. Like if I literally just Google convert black and white to normal, oh, convert grayscale to normal map. There we go. I think there's an online one. This guy, yeah, inside your browser. And this guy will literally just do it for you online. So I should be able to drag and drop my picture. I'll need to make it. Do I need to make it black and white? I hope not. Are you smart enough? Yeah, it's smart enough. And you can see it working there. So I've drawn it. I've drag and dropped the image there. And you remember what I said about like black and white? When it converts it to grayscale, it'll go black and white. Obviously, if it's grayscale. Blacks will be pushed down, and whites will be pushed up. Okay, and grays are just kind of neutral. Everyone all good with that? So you can see how it's working here. This is quite like this is quite strong, the displacement. You can change it like you can go up or down on this here, displacement here. I can also export. Oh, I can export an AO and a specular. That's pretty cool. Okay, I don't need a specular. What an AO is called an ambient occlusion map. So let me show you what it looks like. And me explaining it to you may not be very helpful because it's kind of hard to understand what it does until we see it in Sketchfab. There is a pretty good model here. I know it's horrifying, but it's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. Let's look at it. Let's zoom in on it. Zoom. No. An image in your Give me the big image. Okay, cool. All right. So the original model with ambient occlusion over there. This is the texture that it uses, and you see it's just black and white, right? Now the ambient occlusion, what it does is everywhere that's black, it kind of reacts like a shadow. It's almost as if you're painting shadows in those areas. But it's not quite as simple as just painting it on, because it literally reacts to light less. Anything that's here, like say this black area or this black area, whenever you put it on, when the 3D light hits it, it just like doesn't light it up as much as it would an area that would be pure white. If it's pure white, the 3D light would have its full effect on it. And that's kind of the simplest way I can explain it. Does that kind of make sense to people? Yeah? So the normal map is your blue and red stuff. This is your ambient occlusion map. And we'll see that there is a slot in Sketchfab for those. So, and there's slots for other stuff as well. So anyway, I've got this. I'll donate to them later because they're actually pretty cool. And I should just be able, oh, there's strength there as well. There's loads of stuff you can do. It's cool. You can blur it so it's not as sharp. That's kind of cool. Loads of stuff I can do. Stop. Can I stop it rotating? Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. Let me blur it a bit more. That's too much. So can you see it kind of changing as I do that? So it's just basically how sharply it's trying to use the normal map. Sorry, the black and white to convert to normal map. Level and spray. All right, cool. So this is the normal. I should be able to download. Oh, can I download all? Does it download everything for me? Oh, I probably need to turn on ambient occlusion. No, downloads all of them. Allow. So as you can tell, I have not used this one before. I only found out about it last night, but it's actually really useful. 3ds Max, copy house. So this is the ambient occlusion map, I guess. The displacement map. So displacement map is something called it's also called a height map, displacement or height, and it is also black and white, and also pushes things up or down. So a normal map only kind of works for very fine detail. It only works for lighting. Height kind of makes it have the illusion of being pushed up, like those tiles. You see the way they look like they're actually 3D and being pushed up? That's the height map acting on it. The normal map is giving you all the small little details here, and the actual illusion of it being pushed up is from the height map, okay? I will put all these maps on one by one in Sketchfab so you'll be able to see what difference they make. Now, the good thing about Sketchfab is it uses PBR. PBR is physically based rendering, sometimes also called PBM, physically based material, and Unity uses exactly the same thing. So the standard shade in Unity is a PBR material. Now PBR is confusing as hell because people call the albedo or diffuse, they're the same thing. The albedo, diffuse, color map, all the same thing. The height map, also called the displacement map. The normal map is always normal map, so that's good. But there's a lot of things which are sometimes called two different things, but they do the same exact thing, and they're exactly the same thing. So let's save our displacement map. Where's 3ds Max, copy house, save the displacement map, and the specular map. I don't need a specular map really. So specular map is a map that tells the model how to shine. So like if I make the specular map red, every time I shine a light in the model, the reflected light will be red. But Unity by default uses a metalness, so you don't care about specularity. We have a specular in Unity as well, but for now, we don't really care about it. I'll save it anyway. Am I confusing people? No? Okay. Just let me know if I am, okay? Sketchfab should have this finished now. Awesome. There it is. It's just my model. And to add it, go to 3D settings. This model has not been published yet. Publish will make it like visible for everyone. Let's see. So you can see up here in the renderer, by default, it says PBR. And that's what I was just talking about, physically based rendering. There's classic, which is the old school way, but we don't use that anymore. And there you can change the camera field of view if for some reason you want it to be all weird and stuff. And you can have a background on or off. You can change the environment of the background in here, I think, in lighting, yeah. So if you turn off the background, it'll just be like nothing. So if I have the background on, I can go to lighting, and there's a bunch of scenes you can choose, and this would be kind of like the backdrop for your image. And generally you want to pick something that fits your model. So whatever is best. The brightness of the background is here, and the brightness of the background does affect lighting on the model itself. It kind of projects the lighting onto the model. There's also separate lighting up here if you want. And if I turn that on, you see there's 3 different lights here, and there are loads of little presets, and it shows you like how they look like when you have those presets. Cool. They're just like pre-set up lights and stuff. Let me go back to the scene here, and in the background, I'm also able to, if I turn off ambient environment, I can change how blurred the background is and how bright it is. But the brightness here is different from the other brightness. This one just affects how much of the background shows. Cool. So the most important thing, materials. So if I go to materials, you guys all should only have one material when you click on this drop down. If you have a model with many different materials, when you click on that drop down, you'll be able to select all the different materials. Now the reason why you might have that is if you have let's say a character that had armor, and the armor was a separate material to the character because the armor would be able to be changed or whatever it is. Like, you know, you can change your clothes or whatever. So that, in that case, you would see them there. I'll show you an example later. And so here is PBR maps. We are using workflow metalness. Okay, so metalness workflow. First thing is our base color. That is also known as albedo or diffuse. I can import textures here. I might as well just import all of them. That doesn't seem to work. We'll find out later if it works. I don't know if that worked. Anyway, crappy house. Choose texture, crappy house, and that should appear. Yay! It's my pretty house. Metalness, right now it's just a slider, controls how metallic something is. And in real life, most things are either 100% metallic or not metallic at all, most things. There's very few things that are like slightly metallic, slightly not metallic. And the way to know whether something's metal or not is literally, does it have metal in it? So like, if you're gonna texture the back of a MacBook, that would have a lot of metal in it, because it's 100% metal, it is metal. If I was to do like a leather bag, I would make the metalness all the way down to 0, because it's got no metal in it. So it's very simple in that case. So I'm just gonna put like the metalness 0. Let me see if I can grab the normal map. Does that work? I don't think it did. Isn't it? Where's my normal map? Download. Save. Did that work correctly? Nope, gives me all black. I don't like this. I'm not gonna donate. No, doesn't work. Boo. Okay, the backup then. I was going to show you how to make it in Mudbox. So here we go, Mudbox. That's a shame. These actually look pretty nice. Can I just save it from here? Normal map. Yes. Does that work? No, it doesn't. Oh yeah, it does. It's really low res though. So yeah, it is quite crappy. It's quite low res, but it's good enough to work for this. So if I want to re-import this texture, manage textures, import the new one. Yay, normal map. and then choose texture, and you should be able to see, let me just zoom in, that this normal map should affect it now. Come on, buddy, you can do it. Can you see that? Very little. If I slide the slider up and down, it's more obvious. So you see, like, it doesn't have that pushed up look that it did in the other one, and that's because I only have a normal map, which, as I said, only has small little details. So let's try and get the height map and see if that we can use that displacement. Save images, displacement, sure buddy. Get the ambient occlusion while I'm at it. Save images, ambient occlusion, yes. Okay, and I'll just edit, manage textures, and import all those textures. So displacement, ambient occlusion, is that all I wanted? Yeah, these two. Cool. Let's go to ambient occlusion. I turn that on to make sure it's on, and then choose the texture. It's this guy. Can you see that now? That like a little bit of shadow just appeared on some of the places. It may be hard to see on the projector. Let me just turn that off, and when I put on the height map, it should be more obvious. So there's your displacement over here. Let's go find the height map. Displacement map here. And so you generally want to put it like a little tiny bit only. But you can see, like, it's not actually exploding the model. It's just telling the model to look like it's been pushed up or down. So my displacement, you generally need to have like a soft touch with it, just a tiny bit. It doesn't work that well, to be honest. I can't really see much of a difference. Well, it's on 0. Yeah, I don't think it's working that well. So I might as well turn it off. Ambient occlusion, there we go. So we've got some shadow in the shadowy areas, and it's lighter and lighter. So you can see like these parts are a bit wider on the ambient occlusion. If I look at the ambient occlusion, there we go. It is like kind of light on the tips of the tiles and darker here at the back towards where the tiles are shadowed, and the same exact thing happens. So they're kind of, the tips don't get affected as much by the shadowy areas, but if I bump up the ambient occlusion to full, the areas at the back kind of get shadowier, if that makes sense. All good so far? Alright, cool. There's a bunch of other stuff here. Cavity is kind of like a smaller ambient occlusion. I almost never use it. If I do use it, I just like double up on the ambient occlusion in there. So I just basically put on the ambient occlusion map again, and you can see it's a lot more obvious now. Come on, stop moving. So turn that off, off. So compared to both of them on, they really look like they're shadowed up there. And that's pretty much it. Emission is for glow. We haven't done emission yet. Did we do emission? No? Okay, let me do a really shitty emission, and you'll see what it does. Oh, not my box. Photoshop. No. Okay. Let's open. There we go. Okay, so this is my diffuse texture, right? Let's say I want the red areas to glow. Let's say. What I can do is make everything else black. Anything in an emission map, anything that is black will not glow. Any other color, whether it's white or red or whatever it is, that will glow. It will look like it gives off light. And the kind of brighter the color is, the brighter it will glow as well. Cool? So we'll see that. Let me just make the roof not glow at all. So that's going to be pure black. And I'll make everything else like that. So all the bits that I drew are going to remain there, and it will glow. And I'll save that as an emission map. So emission. Go back to our model, and again I need to go emission, need to turn it on. You see it's black right now, so it's not glowing at all because it's a completely black map. I can just, I think I can just do this. No, I can't. It doesn't do anything. It's just completely black. Manage textures, import texture, emission. Touch, and if I slide this up, can you see that it's like kind of glowing? Probably don't want it all the way up. So can you see that it looks like it's glowing? Maybe if I turn on the lights in here, I think. So you see that, like all the white light, all the colors that I left are glowing. Cool. So that's basically all the maps you need to know for PBR. There are loads of other maps, but these are the most important ones that you'll get you through like 99% of stuff in Unity as well as in Sketchfab. And just at the end, when you're finished, you can go up here to post-processing filters. And there's a bunch of post-processing filters in here. SSAO is screen space ambient occlusion. So remember I just talked to you about ambient occlusion and the ambient occlusion map. SSAO is basically a version of that that runs in real time. You don't need a map for it. The map is way more accurate, but SSAO will kind of try and guess where to put shadows. If I turn that on, it may not do anything. Can you kind of see it? Not really. Let me just make it really intense so you can see it. So you see that it's kind of trying. It's trying to be like, oh, I think they're touching each other here. Anywhere there's two meshes touching, it kind of goes, oh, they probably should have a shadow there. So it kind of tries to do it, but it's not accurate at all compared to an occlusion map. Cool. There is depth of field. Fuck depth of field. Grain, we'll just put like a blurry grain filter over everything. See if you can see it. I don't really like it, to be honest. Sharpness will just kind of make it look a bit sharper, which you can't tell on the projector. You'll probably have to see it here. Vignette will do that, like kind of darken the edges. It's a very classic way to draw attention to the center. And bloom is generally the one that people like the most. Basically kind of makes glow. So everywhere there's light, it will glow. The threshold controls like how bright something has to be before it starts blooming. And the intensity is how intense the bloom is. So now it looks like neon. The emission map that I put on looks like neon because it is giving off light, and with the bloom post-processing added on, it kind of glows. The same exact post-processing filters are all in Unity in the post-processing stack. They're exactly the same. Let's see what else we got. And yeah, tone mapping and color balance are just for color, so I'm gonna leave those alone. But all of these, and anti-aliasing as well, are all in Unity's post-processing stack, which we'll look at later as well. Cool. So there's my really crappy house, but it looks a lot better because I just slapped on a load of filters. But the general rule of thumb is your model or your scene or whatever it is should look good before you add on post-processing filters. So don't just be like, oh, it's fine, it's crappy, we'll fix it in post. Because, like, for many reasons. One, because people may disable your posts and look at the model without, and it just looks crap. And also because, you know, it's just best practice. Look at it. Cool. So any questions on that so far? If I go back to the materials, I can also manage textures and delete unused. Once I've made sure that all my model maps are on, delete unused, it'll automatically just delete all the ones that I'm not using. Doesn't affect this. There is also this VR thing. So like, if a dude was watching your model, looking at your model, where would he be? You can kind of move this guy around and you can rotate him as well. So I want him looking over here. And I can also increase the scale of the world. So let me make him 10. and where the floor is as well. Although the floor is pretty good for me, so I can change where the floor is, where you're standing. So if you look at this in VR, you'll be looking at my house from here. And you can actually do that on your phone as well. Most phones allow you, like if you have Sketchfab, you can just turn up this little VR button. You click on it, and if you have Google Cardboard, you can just like slap it in and have a look at the house. Cool. Once you're finished and you're happy, save settings and publish it. I don't want to publish this, but oh, no. Cool. And then you can exit, and it should now be visible to anyone. And if you post a link, at least in Facebook, it makes it like a little kind of YouTube play kind of thing. You can click on it and you can look around your model. So there we go. Here, oh god, here's my model, and you can look around it. It takes a while for the textures to load. You see that little bar? It's still working. So it'll look like crop for a little bit, but then it should look good. Oh my god, privacy, no, it's public. Cool. Any questions so far? Yeah.
How do you get multiple textures onto the base?
Onto the base? What do you mean? Do you want multiple materials onto the base?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in this case, you shouldn't. But you're asking me like, if in theory, how would I do it? Is that what you're asking me?
Also, I had multiple textures.
You do have multiple textures. Okay, and you did use multiple materials then?
Yes.
Okay, you were supposed to only use one material for this, and put all the textures that you have onto one texture and one material, because it's one object, it's one house. Now, in practice, there are some objects that will have multiple materials on them, but something like this, that's a decorative one small house, that should only have one material. Okay? But if you wanted to do multiple materials, in Maths it's pretty easy. Let's say this little piece here, I want that to be a different material. If I go to the material panel, and I'm going to choose this one, and just make the color blue so you can tell it's that material. And because I'm selecting only this piece, when I drag this on, it only changes that piece. And that piece now uses that second material. But now what's happening is my one model is using one material that has all this texture that I made. This little piece is using a second material. So in Unity, that is now three draw calls. One draw call for the model, one for this material, one for this material. Which is why it's so bad to use multiple materials, because the main bottleneck for performance is draw calls. It's not really poly count, even though I'm really animal for poly count. It's a little bit texture size, but texture size kind of mostly affects memory, to be honest. But processing is draw calls, so like how many things it needs to look for. So it's fine when you have one house in a scene, and you're like, oh, the house only has two materials, it's not a big deal. But when I have a whole city, you know, 500 houses, I'm now 500 multiplied by 2 instead of 500 multiplied by 1. You know, so it's always good practice to always optimize down, always. Cool. And it is now loaded. Looks so pretty. Oh my god. All right. Sketchfab is also useful for looking at other people's work and seeing how they did stuff. Especially if they allow you to see the unwrap, you can kind of see how they unwrap stuff. I'm going to show you a multiple material model now, if I can, if it doesn't explode. This one will do. And hopefully this doesn't explode. 3D settings. So you know the way I added different materials, Chris, just there, to each part of the model? This is exactly what would happen in Sketchfab, if I can get it working, which I can't. What? It's completely different. Can I see what's different? So what do you mean what's different? Oh, it's like halfway up, like.
Yeah.
Okay, is it a separate? It's a separate piece.
Yeah.
They're all supposed to be attached in one level. Yeah. It's because like this kind of point is probably off. They all should be attached. Yay! Internet.
Doing it.
You'll also have a problem there, Alex, if you import it to Sketchfab and it's all different pieces. Whenever you want to change the texture, you have to change it for every single one of those pieces. That's why you attach everything to do on that piece. What? The texture? Have you saved settings yet? You take save settings to the way. And then refresh this one. It might take a while though. Right, looks like something. No. That on the same time? Go back to the next one. And just takes it out of the. Is it recording? Okay, no more work. Settings here again. Did you amend it yet? You just imported it, right? Shouldn't you do that?
So I said before I
Well, it's supposed to be only one object. Then it's all one object. You have to just have separate materials on each thing.
No, you can start.
You have to
try it if you want. I don't think it's that bad. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's what, 780? Yeah. Because by default it's double-sided. So yeah, you can turn it off and it's in your 3D settings. Edit the model. There should be a setting for
divide every section.
Say what? If you don't have any need for it to go double-sided, yeah, turn it off because like it is doubling it with That's not bad. 5 megs is not bad. Most of your file size will come from your textures. So if your textures are high res, then
If you don't do it, that's all.
it has a setting there. Yeah, it always has a setting. Operation always has a setting. Like it doesn't matter the res. The res is just like how like blurry stuff will be or crisp. But it always has to be square. Yeah. Is it to operate right now? Well, it looks okay. It's still for 496. It's still a part of 2. It works. It's not ideal. It's kind of a lot more advanced. Like there are in the really advanced modeling, they will have half the map. You basically have half. And they do that to save and stuff. But, yeah.
Go to M, and then
You can do 496 by 496. And even if it's empty space, it's preferable to having it.
do that like select that from all pictures so you see them in the
Any part of 2, any part of 2 all the way up to
like this is to
496.
help you.
Unity will at a pinch take in 192, but you should not. Like You don't need a 4K texture, to be honest, for this. I'm using shitty ass like 256 textures, and it's still okay. So you always want to use the shittiest one you can get away with. And the rule for that is there's no rule for it. It's literally what looks good in game. So stuff that's really up close will need a lot higher res texture because you can see stuff that's 10 miles away.
So you want to
yeah, sorry.
I mean, like,
Okay, so a lot of people are telling me that it's double the amount of polygons that it is in Max, and that's normal. The reason is it's double-sided. So every time and this is why I'm so anal about polygons, because when you have one polygon, in Unity it only renders one side, so that's one polygon. But it's not just one polygon, because one polygon, and then I got my diffuse texture. Okay, cool, it's rendering diffuse. Oh, I got my albedo, not my albedo, my occlusion. Okay, that's another thing I need to calculate. I need to have my metalness, that's another thing. So it's all of these things stacking on top of each other to create the processing bottleneck. But in Sketchfab, by default, for some silly reason, it defaults to double-sided polygons, so you can turn it off. It's in the first one or the second one? Is it in the PBR? Oh yeah. In the materials, all the way down the bottom, faces rendering. And you can just turn off like single-sided or double-sided. And that should make it half the polygon. Does it? You save settings and you go to your model, and there's model information that will tell you the amount of polygons. Did that not work? No? Stated double? Yeah.
so what if you just attach all this?
Oh, they tried it.
We'll just like you should be fine to just go after the attach all this. Yeah, you're just Well, California and have a little other.
Okay. All right. So it looks like another reason. I thought it was a double-sided rendering. It's not. And this happens in Unity as well, by the way. So we do need to watch out for this. Where the fuck is my? I only have a permanent marker. Is there a whiteboard marker around?
Yeah, it's
Oh, nice. Check it out. So, what Unity will do, and what Sketchfab seems like it's doing, you have a quad in 3ds Max, and literally, if you bring it to Unity, or it seems Sketchfab does it as well, it just kind of splits into tries. So some 3D programs work better with tries, some 3D programs work better with quads. You should always build quads anyway, because quads are accepted in like every 3D program. So if you have quads, a program that works better with tries will just convert it to tries. Whereas if you have tries, you can't convert it to quads. So always work with quads. So it seems to do that, which is why you're getting double your polygon. It seems to like split your polygon. Another reason why I'm also anal about polygon, because we just got double for no reason. Just because Sketchfab is like screw you, buddy. Cool. Alright. If you guys want to try and upload that, and then we can take a little break, and we'll have the second half of the class then. Yes. Before you do, make sure you attach everything so it's the single object. Because if you have multiple objects, you'll need to now change materials for multiple objects. And this is why I tell you to do that. Because the same thing will happen in Unity. You go to Unity, you import your model, it's made up of like 25 different little tiny objects, and you want to change your material. Hey, good luck. You're doing 25 times. Is this good? Huh? Is it? I just think I still yeah, I actually should have seen that. Yeah. I really like Making me old. Yes, no, it's fine. Are the windows not? No, that's fine. Like everything only the one.
Yeah, no, they are.
They're a separate material.
This is the term.
Very nice. That's why you can see. Ah, okay. No, that's not. That's easy to fix. So just one real quick. So guys, if this is happening to you, if you're trying to rotate some stuff in Max that's already a part of an object, I think this is happening to you, Helen. You wanted to rotate all three of them as one piece, but when you rotated them, they're rotating individually on their own axes, like that. Okay, if that issue happens, it's right up here. Use pivot point center, or if you click and hold, use the center of all of them, and that will rotate all of them together. Alright? Would that solve it?
So everything is the same. That's why you have to. That's why you have to track
You didn't attach them before adding materials?
texture map first before you set down the textures.
You have to remove materials. And what do you do with them all in one texture? Okay, so not much you can do about it now. Again, Rocky. They are all right. Okay, I do not know you're not within TV go to the office, so I do not know oh no, you actually add a rough modifier and then like do the rough modifier. So you did for all of them. So yeah. Like whether they done well or not, I don't know. But you did a rough modifier. Okay. They all need to be hashed out. Otherwise, you're going to have to import this whole thing, and it's going to be basically, that's asking you, do you want to attach this while keeping the material that it has? So, what this will allow you to do is you'll attach them all to that one object. That's fine, but you'll still have to attach it. So it's kind of keeping, it's knowing that okay, it's terrible. Like it's one object that I think it's the first option. Okay. Yeah. I'm big enough. Sure. You can also remember where the slides pass. Where we yeah, right here. Right yes. And it will probably still have a selection of It's on the It's on the YouTube videos. But it's like it's something I can show you right now.
Should I? So here, like I have all this open on the layout. So should I just make them out to one, or is
You should make them all into one, but then your unwrap is not going to work anymore because they've been told to do like they've been told to do a different thing. So like let's say the roof part. If that was separate and you need to use a roof texture like that. As far as the roof part is concerned, it's like yeah, you use the whole texture. So when you put them on the whole texture, it's just going to be like yeah, you use the whole texture. So you need to edit the unwrap again. So you'll need to edit the unwrap again.
There's no way of putting more
You can. It's like here, if you click it up, it should show you the materials and zero attachments. Okay, so the other one that was not attached, it should show you the materials there. But, I mean, again, that's portfolio. Someone goes in and looks at the materials like, oh my god, this house is like, 25 materials, whatever it is. So they should all be attached. I know it's not work, but that's why we don't take it. They need to more. Alright, so how many people are having problems because they didn't attach everything and now they have 25 different materials? Yeah, okay. So again, this is why I'm always going on about like attach everything before you unwrap and unwrap to one texture only because it solves problems like this. It seems easier initially, but it causes headaches in the long run. We're only talking about one object. Or do you have multiple pieces as well? No. The roof is not. They're not attached.
But like in the UV
they're all together. Oh, you can just attach them all in. Then you just attach them all. Roofing is attached.
I was more kind of like show some texture, and then I was like, and then like if I was going
Yeah, but
No, but like
so how would you?
just take the main one. You can right click. And just that's why you don't want
All your polygons.
So, guys, please don't do stuff I don't tell you to do. There's reasons why I don't tell you to do. Just be selective. Check on all your stuff. Okay. Let's just pick the you probably need to. You might need to. You have a rough. Yeah. It's like all of the. Computer and build for a good group.
That's all of your polygons there on top of each other. Without racks.
Just with the closer.
So if you use the seam tool to draw where you want to tell the thing. It's going to cut out try to flatten them out into what it's spinning up and going so basically you use the seam tool I did a terrible job. That was basically nothing. Basically, you have to tell where cuts can be made on the thing, and when you then unwrap it by like whether using hot lamp or So it'll then flatten it out depending on what you tell it. You have to lay it out in that little square where you want each part of each material to be. Yeah. In that square, but you're giving them each their own little bit of it. So this make your text with Photoshop or whatever, and then basically they originally were all
Yeah, I know.
I
the layout
Because grouping them on the just make sure
so like what I did first
Unity
where I gave myself enough room for what I felt I needed for each thing, and then you can adjust it as you get to the next I don't know what to tell you that.
I know.
Well, basically, the whole thing probably is one of
Luckily, you actually did do the thing where you unwrap all together, so it should still be fine.
The moment that
We all want to start getting used to drop-offs or whatever it is, I don't know which happens or something. This happens all the time, especially as artists, what happens all the
What's a
time.
better name?
You always need to be able to access that shit. Like the house itself is good, and you just get, it's not, like you fix it, it's not a really big deal. I'm just quite frustrated that someone who's working in this area goes to do this.
no, he's not. Adam is not. Adam is still a student. He's actually going to be attending this so he's going to have stage rights and nothing in the class.
But that's also kind of annoying because it means he doesn't get through all this stuff that's boring, but needs to learn more.
That was my really question.
Well, just tell him about this. Okay, don't tell him but tell him about this stuff and say, like, tell him the reason why it's bad.
Yeah.
Because you get 35 objects in Unity. And like, never mind the 35 draw calls, never mind the fact that it's not do anything at 35 things to deal with. If I want to just do a simple thing like change, like they're all using the same material, so it's not too bad. It's just 35 too. Like the only way that would make sense is if you were going to use this and basically in Unity. If in Unity you want to remove the pillar, then it would be something. Yes. But in this case, we're making decorative something that would be like. But what? It's not that what you did exactly like it was wrong. It's not. Depending on what you did, is that going to make sense?
Yeah.
When I want to move something around in Unity. Yeah. Because here I can just select a piece here. But in Unity you can't. So it's only if you want to do it separately. It's just that you don't know why it is.
Yeah, I thought it was very good.
No, you attach it. You also have multiple materials.
Yeah, but I need like an export.
It's like y'all don't believe me or something when they say you got to do something. Yes, please. And everyone else is doing it. So my problem with a lot of people who are self-taught and think that they I was there. Oh my fuck, even worse. So, yep. Then it will be like some of the like this. If I was going to do this for rendering, I just wanted to take this beautiful picture. Who gives a shit? Yeah, nobody cares. It's going to be a picture. Because we're using this in Unity, I do give a shit. I give this to I give it to the developer. The developer wants to put out a mesh glider. It was all a single piece. Mesh glider charge. Mesh glider, yeah. No, but it's like you need the texture as much as I know Max. If I really wanted to see it, if I really wanted to show that you gain 35. Yeah. I know that one of the sketch background. Hey, all right, it is 12 o'clock. Are you guys still trying to do your house thing? You can do it before the end of tonight. Everyone who followed. What happened?
I have to export and work with this house.
With a better media.
No, with Sketchfab special script.
Why?
I don't know. See if it won't work.
Sure not. You're literally the only person I've seen this happen to.
Yeah, he's the first person ever.
Alright, so we'll take a little break and then we're going to move on because you guys should have all your models done already well, and then it's all a matter of just putting it up in Sketchfab tonight. So oh yeah, okay. When you're submitting it to me, the easiest thing is probably just a giant zip file with all your textures in there. Well, you only have one texture because everything will be on one texture. And your max file, your @dx file, and then your Sketchfab link. Just Sketchfab link in the text file or in the comments. That's all.
You need a screenshot.
Yes, it's screenshots. All is it. Screenshots, keep them outside the zip file. Just so I can have a look at them without having to open them. The most important thing is the Sketchfab link.
Do you do a screenshot from Sketchfab or a
You can do a screenshot from Sketchfab.
or from Figma Space?
No, screenshot. Okay, no, let's go.
Like, do you want me to take a picture of this, or would you rather I like go like, oh yeah?
Yeah, show me a wireframe. I can see a wireframe Sketchfab. Doesn't really matter.
Do you want this, or do you want?
Yeah, one. But the most important thing is your max file and your Sketchfab link.
Yeah.
Well, please don't try to hide shit. I know how to hide stuff.
Started fast. He said, "Oh, yeah, recently we got to understand Sketchfab. He's gonna go buy some apps."
Yeah, it's like, woo! We're gonna start Roblox now, right now. It's so cool.
Commentator's curse.
Yeah. Next week is review week. The week after, we're having super special class. Super special. Can you all come in at... Yeah, you can. Just 10. 10. 10. But no, next week's review. So I'll put it again, I'll post it on the thingy. So we're gonna meet at 10, but we're not meeting here. We're gonna meet
Mystery
on the at the museum stop on the red loose one. Huh? And it's just 10.
Yeah, I know.
It's stuff before. Oh.
Yeah.
Are we going to
Oh, okay. From here? Oh yeah, legit. Okay, completely. So if I can say to you, from here to there, what bus do you
We're
get?
going to Baz's house.
My house is nearby. We're not going there. It's easier from McCall Street to go.
Oh, is it that one that doesn't
Yeah.
No, it's
Chapel Town.
Oh, we just did that. Well, like, we're meeting at the your max all I can see your
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Why don't you grab your tour? It's the most boring place.
It's like 20 minutes less than the bus.
Well, we're going somewhere near there. We can get, where? Let's go to my house.
It's like we're just meeting at his building. I would like to talk to the museum. I'm
Gonna show us all the
Like that museum and everyone's like, where are we going? Where are we going, guys? It's a museum.
It's gonna push us on individually onto the train track.
I mean, yeah. The Lewis doesn't kill you. I've been hit twice. Okay, are we over? Is break over? Did everyone download Mudbox?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so proud of you guys. Except for these people. I don't know what you're Alright, so before 12 p.m. tonight, I want that in, okay? Late penalty is 5% immediately, and then every week it's like 20%, but halfway through the week it's 10%. I don't remember. There's a late penalty. Might be even 10%. I can't remember. It's bad. Just have it in. Just let me know.
What's the marking for?
The marking?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have marks for your, do you want a rubric?
Yeah, no, just the overall.
You have marks for topology as one, best practices, so not having 35 objects, materials, not having 35 materials, unwrapping, not having the polygons all squished and stuff, and then the final one, the small, is your presentation in Sketchfab, so like 30. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, this is your first assignment. First amendment, there's going to be loads of assignments.
That's the big small.
I mean, it's like 5%.
Like how many people
Yeah, so like if you lose, if you don't submit this assignment, you'll need to get, well, let's say you don't, you'll need to get, like, it's going to be 30 and it's going to be 50, so you'll need to get like 15 in one and 25 in the other? No. No, is that right? Makes sense? No, you need to get more than that. 15 and 25, that's 40. Yeah, it's exactly 40. So, yeah. I mean, that's a lot for you it takes quite a while. Sometimes depending on like traffic, it does take quite a while. You'll be getting it after the
We're building a museum.
you are building.
You know when you say split texture, what if you're getting no matter?
So you're always up in the future from textures. Yeah, like having more than one texture is automatically just it's not too late to attach them all and unwrap them, re-unwrap them. Like you need to put all your textures into one single texture, and then you'll need to re-unwrap your model. Attach all of them, and then you've already unwrapped them, right? So you don't actually need to do the seams again. You just have to move them to like so I'll go here, and then that's so it's not that much work. It is quite a bit, but it's not huge. You can do it before. Okay, so yeah. Then I don't know. There's no special way to get it. Okay, I have two options for you. We have 1 hour left. Option number one. We move on to a new thing that's a little complicated. It's my box, and it's my box. I'm going to do a very simple thing in my box, but it does involve a lot of steps. We're not going to sculpt in my box yet. It's fine, you can sculpt. You're just playing, it's fine. We're not going to sculpt in my box. We will just be using my box to edit textures. That's option number one. Option number two, y'all who have broken stuff, we try and fix your broken stuff for your submission tonight, and I say here, help you guys. Part of me wants to, we're not sculpting. So let me just say that straight up, we're not sculpting.
You other things that
Okay. Okay, grand, we're moving on then. Nobody else said anything, so.
You're the one who was on
You guys could have said words.
You could have said words. Yes, Alex. Okay, show of hands please, resolve issues. Show of hands, move on to new stuff.
Hey, it's not my fault.
I can go get it.
Now, I will say that this assignment has been due for like 3 weeks now. And I've talked about it for 3 weeks now, and nobody's come to me and asked me for stuff. So, look, it's your first assignment. I'll do that now. We'll resolve issues today. This will not happen again. Okay? It's just a little bargain between us because, like, we just don't have enough time. 2 hours each. We just don't have enough time. There's so much stuff we need to cover. That cool? The peeps who have already finished your stuff. Any of you want to go get donuts and shit? For us only.
Which
so.
ones?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. What do you want? Wait, how many people have actually finished? 1, 2, 3. Sort of. Sorta.
I mean, I can finish it after this class.
Oh no, it should have been finished for this class. Who came in with it finished? Okay. So that's, I don't know.
They're agreed.
It's like 15 bucks. I didn't even take it. Jeez. Ian, I'm trusting you. Yeah. Alright. Just give you guys Tesco donuts, you'd be happy, right?
We first give the option of good ones.
Whatever it is for 15 bucks, and get me a coffee as well. Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
John, how long?
Yeah.
Are you all going?
What else are you gonna do?
I think I've done it myself.
Yeah, 6 months.
Are you sure? You sure?
Oh, we just hit this one. Okay, so I am here to help other people. What do we need? Somebody yell at me. A thing. You need a thing? No, you didn't look at that. They're all attached now, right? Yes. Okay, all good. Go to the modifier list and add your unwrap on, and let's have a look at what the unwrap is. You might actually be able to.
I think I want to walk away from this.
View unwrap. Open show me the editor. Did you use a single texture when you unwrap? Like, what texture are you using? The picture, the image itself. Are you only using one? Or are you
No, I'm using
all of them?
Yeah.
Okay. And you set these to all the different materials right now?
Yeah, what I did is make material.
Okay. So you have one object, one single object, but it's using multiple materials at the moment. So it use the same case right here. Alright, in this case, what we want to do, this will work. It will go into Sketchfab. It will be one object, but it's just going to have, one materials, whatever. So what we need to do in this case, which I've done to mine, oh my fuck. No, don't make me use a touchpad, please. Mouse, please. I beg of you. I'm gonna go upstairs again. I knew it. Like coming down here, and I was like, I should bring the mouse. Alright, I'll be 5 minutes. Or less.
See, I was trying to sketch. It's really long because so it's actually the fact is opening that
Well,
it's drag them up.
see, I would like to Amazon going to the foreign object he said there are multiple pictures.
Yeah, which
I didn't know that was an issue.
No, that's the thing. No, that's the problem.
Yeah,
They always
it's
want
not like
that.
it takes a fucking picture.
Yeah.
How was your unwrapping one?
Huh?
How was your unwrapping?
Okay, I thought.
It was a good try.
I didn't wrap it.
That's him.
Do you know why? Because yesterday, every time I tried to
Yeah, that's money.
Yeah, I was trying to show how to help them get back in.
So I may have to Well, I'm not
So I'll like that's it. So on first, 2009.
Yeah. It's like, in my head, it's not
Like that, then. And then you start up from zone 2 to so, I think that
I do lots of
yeah,
yeah, but I got the original contract.